2017 Aprilia RSV4RR and RSV4RF First Ride Review. Aprilia takes its RSV4 platform one step further. By Bradley Adams, May 19, 2017. I set the RSV4's pit speed limiter as I haul out of the carport. For no other explanation than on the grounds that I can. It's the Tuesday after the current year's Red Bull Grand Prix of the Americas and Hot Pitches vacant, hold for the cleanup group entrusted with repressing MotoGP group cartons. They don't appear to mind on the off chance that I comply with as far as possible, however I do it in any case. Since Aprilia made it with the goal that I can. The bicycle sputters as I turn the throttle to the stop, then settles in at an unfaltering 37 mph. Pit leave passes, I tap the PIT catch once more, and the bicycle lets out the most brilliant of cries from its fumes. We're off. CoTA, completely to myself. 2 days after GP. On what's turned out to be one of the best sport bikes of the previous decade. For 2017, the bicycle is intended to be far and away superior, as well. I ought to state bicycles, as in fact we're here to test both the RSV4RR and RSV4RF. The first of those two bicycles is viewed as the base show RSV4. It gets a similar hardware bundle as the RF, yet swaps lens suspension for sax pieces, and 5 Toct fashioned aluminum wheels for more spending plan cognizant 3 Toct cast aluminum bands. Aprilia says that both models are, by and large, 1 moment quicker around the circuit. This on account of a refreshed motor, electronic rider help bundle, brakes, and suspension. I'll say now that I didn't test this. You most likely won't need to, either. Aprilia's point, obviously, continues as before. This is a development of the stage, a stage intended to expand on what's as of now been expert. Few cruisers feel as beyond any doubt footed as the Aprilia RSV4 at full lean RR or RF. Kindness of Aprilia. The updates. The greatest changes to the thing you can see the Aprilia Performance Ride Control APRC framework. This incorporates Aprilia Traction Control ATC, Aprilia Wheelie Control AWC, Aprilia Launch Control ALC, Aprilia Quick Shift AQS, Aprilia Pit Limiter APL, and Aprilia Cruise Control ACC. I ordinarily wouldn't make you endure a whole rundown of acronyms, yet to know these frameworks and their updates is to know the 2017 RSV4. Despite everything, I'll skirt the fine print. What's vital to know is that the footing control framework has a higher execution working rationale, that the wheelie control framework is currently movable on the fly without shutting the throttle, and that your wrists can now take some time off on those long roadway trudges, on account of the expansion of voyage control. The RSV4 makes enough power that I could utilize second apparatus off each of the more tightly corners at CoTA. It was that or wheelie off everything and force shoulders from attachments in first. This 5.4 is that strong. Politeness of Aprilia. Another, completely ride-by-wire throttle spares a couple of grams 590 while doing its best to repeat the bend grasp feel that you've generally expected from a RSV4. A repositioned inertial estimation unit is said to all the more precisely identify the dynamic states of the bicycle read offer more exact data, so that the frameworks can work all the more effectively. And keeping in mind that the 3-motor math sport, track, and race remain, Aprilia has made updates. The greater part of the electronic rider help settings are flexible through new switches and TFT show. Little changes to the tank's shape have empowered Aprilia to suit the resituated inertial stage. You won't have the capacity to see them. What's more, in all ways, the 2017 model looks precisely like its forerunner, which was refreshed with the remolded front fairing for 2016. We spent the whole day on the RSV4's showroom-stock Pirelli Diablo Super Corsa SPV2 tires and left genuinely awed with what amount of hold they offered throughout the test in the market for either the front or back tires. Tap the particular connections. You could take a RSV4 straight from the merchant to the track, and run a shockingly speedy pace. cordiality of Aprilia. Additionally, down you'll locate an arrangement of 10mm bigger and 5mm thicker, 330mm front brake circles. Brembo M50 monoblock calipers are standard, and on the RF display, both lens pieces are alluded to as most recent era. Also on the RF, Aprilia has refreshed the back stem linkage to build the response time of the stun, which, as a matter of fact, you'd presumably should be a world superbike rider to feel. Cornering ABS is currently standard and works as one with the rear lift-up mitigation framework to keep the back wheel planted contingent upon setting at corner section. ABS chips away at 3 levels, in addition to off. You'll require it. Or if nothing else, a decent arrangement of braking hands. This most recent RSV4 as yet creating an asserted 201 horsepower at 13,000 RPMs and 85 pound-feet of torque at 10,500 RPMs. In spite of now meeting Euro 4 emanations benchmarks, new cylinders are lighter and take into account less pass-up. Interfacing poles have been extraordinary treatment for diminished grinding, and the valve springs are refreshed so as to ensure unwavering quality amid the heaviest working burdens, Aprilia says. Perhaps related, possibly not, but rather Aprilia has raised the rev limiter by 300 RPMs, through another ECU. The variable planning admission pipes have additionally been killed, Aprilia going ahead to state that the augmented rev extend renders them pointless. This, obviously, to a motor that was enormously refreshed only 2 years back, with new valves in addition to lighter weight camshafts, cylinders, associating poles, and that's just the beginning. The ride. In the event that the majority of the above recommend that Aprilia's principal concentrate was just on enhancing the way power is put to the ground, then you'd be correct. What's more, that is alright, on the grounds that the most recent cycle of that 65-degree V4 motor was at that point as deep as it should have been, and the RSV4's feeble point has, as of late, been its failure to keep pace with the opposition rider Heltrud. Its frameworks were constantly worked in the correct attitude, however when it came down to it, they were just more sudden than others come time to venture in. CoTA is a decent test, with rises, drops, quick sweepers, and a blend of tight barrette corners that you'll need to get off of easily on the off chance that you need to boast to your pals about max speed toward the finish of the back straight. No, I never won that fight. Yes, I accuse my father for my not as much as streamlined 6'3" outline. Beginning at the little subtle elements, this RSV4 is better. The TFT show is totally dazzling, in addition to simple to explore once you make sense of which of the new switches does what. Ergonomics are the same as they've been, which implies taller riders will look a tad bit senseless when tucked in behind the littleish front fairing, however feels shockingly great in the open seat. Body feel is in the same class as it's at any point been, which is to state you'll never feel like you're really pushing as far as possible. The bicycle is steady, planted, and wouldn't fret at all in the event that you need to trail the brake ideal into the corner. On the off chance that there is any one champion element of the RSV4, it's how much input it gives you, and how little the suspension reduces you from your employment. The RF's lens suspension is recognizably more solid than the RR's, however I'd be lying on the off chance that I said that the higher spec stuff made me feel any speedier. That is but rather to ruin the RF suspension, it's a method for complementing the RR's bits. Like the Edge itself, both packages will outride you in all the most ideal ways imaginable, with still some available for later. The distinction, then, is in the marginally lighter treatment of the RF through an arrangement of side-to-side moves. On the off chance that you've at any point watched a race at CoTA, then you realize that the S's here mean business, and keeping in mind that neither RSV4 relaxes on your legs or shoulders, the flickability is a fair exchange off for what you get regarding strength. The bicycle sits low. We medicate hard parts on the RR before including spring preload, yet not the RF since its suspension is stiffer and doesn't settle to such an extent, and I think about how additional time spent modifying suspension ride satures may change things. I felt like there was a slight contrast in feel at the throttle, a change I'd connect with the new ride-by-wire setup, yet without riding at 2017 and 2016 Moto consecutive, I can't affirm precisely how diverse the vibe is. From numerous points of view, the RSV4 still feels to me like a fascinating harmony between crude execution and a PC program that is attempting to hold everything under tight restraints. I regard that PC, however I don't love it. I explored different avenues regarding diverse footing and wheelie control levels to figure out the framework's corrections. From level 3 to 1, I could get around the track at a better than average pace, yet at the same time battled the frameworks on an entirely general premise. Execution appeared to shift contingent upon the corner. Out of the level, slower speed left-hander that dumps you onto the back straight turn 11, the footing control light would streak and I'd just feel little cuts, while in the declining section into turn 2 on worn tires the framework would cut in a way that kept me from putting any energy to the ground. The framework battled valiantly, while all I truly needed to do was open the throttle so I could get some weight off the front tire. I was at war with the PC. It was winning. I'm not hesitant to concede that 201 horses are more than I truly require guide access to, yet in some ways, despite everything I feel like there is space for refinement. As it seemed to be, I would frequently fall back on footing control off and wheelie control off. This, for me, was the speediest route around the circuit. Different hardware recounted an alternate story. I not even once felt the ABS framework entering at level 1, and the new auto blip downshifter gave consistent shifts, inasmuch as I let revs drop before getting the following apparatus. The framework forestalls downshifts over a specific edge to anticipate you harming hard parts. Thus, the different riding modes offered simply enough change in power conveyed.